Live at the door. All right. All right, you good. You go inside. Good morning, everyone. I got a whole band, and this doesn't. Hey, I don't get the pleasure of getting to do this very often. But I have the whole Mud Whale in front of me right now, and why don't you all introduce yourselves to the podcast, Mud Whale?
What's up, podcast? I'm Michael. I play guitar and do vocals.
My name is Avery. I play drums, just generally hitting things with sticks.
I'm Joe. I'm just the bass player.
And I'm Justin. I play the guitar.
Okay, hi. So also what's super nice, I think this has only happened a couple of times where I'm actually talking to everyone in the same room. Where normally people like log in to like everyone's like getting off work, they have to open up their laptops and everyone's just on an individual thing. Y'all are actually together in like a little studio thing. So tell me about this little studio thing you got going on here.
This is my house. And where we record the songs.
Are you like the main
house?
Are you in like the main producer? Like, you know, the homie, like the actual person that's like, okay, cool, we'll do everything at my house.
That's how we did the recent record, yeah.
Okay, hell yeah. And the one previous, did you do the same thing? Or did you get this house in between the 2021 record and now?
I got the house before that, but I was not on the first record, so that one wasn't done here.
Okay, all right. So are you the newest member and everyone else is original members?
I joined at the same time.
Okay, hell yeah.
Joined the band around November of 2021. So neither of us were on the first record, but we have been around since like right after that album released, and we obviously helped write and record all of the second album, the one that just came out.
Now, the second record is really something special, y'all. Like there's just some really nice there's so much cool post-hardcore stuff. There's still major chord pop punky things going on there. There's something really special that I think everyone's been doing. And I think the first time I heard it is on the Bummer Hill record, where suddenly there's like this bossa nova-esque part. Y'all do kind of a very similar thing halfway through the record. It's like this little mission. It's awesome. It's so cool. So so Michael, you've been involved from the get-go. Kind of walk us through the journey between like you starting it, doing LP1, and then like how LP2 came out last year.
Yeah. So I moved to Ohio in 2016, and then I started looking for people to play with in 2018. I jammed with some people at my work, and then I found a group of guys on Craigslist. And then and Joe was one of those guys, and then so we wrote the whole record, released it. COVID happened, personal stuff happened, and we lost a couple guys, and then I wanted to keep playing out, and I knew Justin from his other band Portage. And I knew he was an amazing guitarist, so I was like, well, let me just see if he would be cool filling in. And he was very down, and he knew Avery and introduced me to Avery. Avery was very down to play. So we just started learning the set, and the first record, we started playing out, and it was just super natural, super comfortable. All of our personalities really fit, and it was just like a no-brainer. And after like, I don't know, might have been a couple months, maybe.
I think probably about 6 months in is when we were finally like, oh, we're in the band.
Yeah. At that point, I was like, y'all want to just make it official? Like, I want y'all in the band. and they were so down. And then, like I just immediately started showing them stuff we had already started writing. And we started writing new stuff almost immediately. And before we knew it, we were doing Humans Pretending to Be Humans.
Now tell me about like why you titled that record that way.
I was so I liked the whole, like, I don't know, I feel like everything in moderation was a little, I don't know, I guess esoteric would be the word. So I wanted to try to do something along those same lines, but I was actually watching the show Succession. And there's a line in there where one of the sons asks the dad, if anybody hasn't watched it, they're like a super rich family that's in control of like a multimedia conglomerate. And
it's incredible. It's a perfect show.
Yeah, it's a really, really good show. And the dad and the son are having like this really rare, like, humble moment together. And his dad had just gone to, like, I think it was a play or something like that. And his son's like, well, how was it? Did you have a good time? And he's like, oh, it's just humans pretending to be humans. And like, I was like, oh, that's so good.
Just open up my phone, notes app. I got to write that down.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did. And then, so like, instead of both plural, I changed the second human to singular. Because I don't know, I feel like at some point everybody feels like they don't know what they're doing in life, or they don't know, they feel like they're not doing the human thing like everybody else is doing the human thing. And that's kind of where it came from.
I remember specifically when Michael brought up the name of the album being Humans Pretending to Be Human. I like immediately clarified, like, are we doing Humans Pretending to Be Human or Humans Pretending to Be Humans? Because me personally, I like the plural and then singular a lot more than I like both being plural. I think that Humans Pretending to Be Human implies something darker, I think.
Yeah. Like I that was a kind of what I pulled from it, where it was like there is the human concept that puts all of us into everything. Like, it's, hey, humans pretending to be human means there is an idea of what we all should be. And it really puts the umbrella over everything, and it makes it sound like way darker. Darker is 100% how, if you took that into getting rid of the plural, it's kind of perfect. Now so kind of the journey of you wanting to do this band thing, I find it really fascinating because you keep having the mountain in front of you and you're still wanting to climb it. Why do you first of all, when you wanted to start a band, first of all, why? Like it's always kind of this daunting thing. Like I was scared to do it for a really long time, and like it was all a dare, and I did everything by myself, and then it was just like I saw the mountain in front of me, and me wanting to climb it was a really strange thing to find myself doing anyways. So I want to know like what it was like for you seeing the mountain twice, where you were like, cool, we'll do this first record, and then you had to kind of get people again to do something else. So like I find that journey very interesting.
Well, I've been playing since I was in like middle school. So and the first time I started a band, it took me like 4 years to like get a whole group of people together. So growing up with it, I'm just like kind of used to that by now, and knowing that like there's a pretty rough dynamic trying to not only put together a band, but keep a band together. So that didn't bother me too much. Like, I don't know. I like a good challenge. But on top of everything, it's just, I've never done anything else that makes me feel like I'm supposed to be doing that. Or like I've never been in another spot where I feel like I'm supposed to be there more than me playing music with people, in front of people. Like recording and writing is very, very fun, but like being on stage with 4 other people or 3 other people or 4 or however many, it doesn't matter. Even if it's just you by yourself, like, I don't know, that's just such a visceral, electric feeling where I can forget everything else. I don't even realize like I'm the same person in my body. Like,
yeah,
it's just like the ultimate escape. Like, I love it.
There's I always have to ask, especially people that like doing the stage thing. Were you a theater kid in high school?
No.
That's so funny. It's like I come from like being a theater kid in high school, so I'm always like, is anybody else? Is like I'm trying to find if there's like theater kid band people, if there's like it's a circle Venn diagram, but I found that like it's usually not. Most people either do like the theater on stage thing, or you do like the music thing. It's very, very strange. But it's really cool to know that like, and I feel the exact same way. Whether you're chasing it or whether it's just this thing that you find yourself in a comfortable place in. Do you find yourself chasing that? Like, is that stage thing, that moment where you're like performing new music or just old music or anything itself? Do you find yourself chasing that?
I would say, yeah, I would say I chase it for sure. I think, yeah,
there's a high to it for sure.
I would say that one of the most gratifying things about being in a band for me personally is the live performance aspect of it. Personally, like I started playing shows live when I was 14.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's been like such a huge part of my life for like 14 years at this point. I don't know. There's like, I love making music for the sake of making music, and if I never played live again, I would still make music.
Sure.
But the live aspect is really important to me, and feeling like I'm on that stage with my bandmates and we are like creating this space together, that's really important to me. And that like just kind of makes me feel fulfilled personally.
There's something just, so again, visceral is a good word there. There's something primal is kind of something that I've always found, because there's got to be like the German word for like explaining like what it's like to not use words and just like use gestures and eye movements to explain moments that are about to happen. Like, oh, we're about to switch to this part. Oh, there's just this moment that I've connected for a split second, and now we both know. Like, there's like, you get in such a deep connective mode with the rest of your band that I feel like that maybe that's something that I also chase as well, is that I love my bandmates. I have such good friends with my bandmates, and I love that connection that we have that I don't share with anybody else. Like, there's this, again, it's this tribal dance that we do on a stage in front of a lot of people. That's exactly kind of how I feel like it. And it's like, just hearing you guys talk, it feels like that you guys y'all have that. Y'all have like that thing, which is so cool. So in between, like, you know, coming from post-COVID and, you know, kind of having not necessarily like a phoenix from the ashes thing, but having to rebuild the whole thing. What was it like, you know, coming out of COVID, like ready to like, you know, hit the road basically?
It was pretty exciting. It was very rejuvenating. Like it definitely refueled me. Because it felt like, I know Joe says this a lot, so I'm gonna steal it, but it felt like once we got Avery and Justin in, that we were really like firing on all cylinders, and we were going towards what we were supposed to be the whole time, for sure.
To me, it almost felt like the difference between, like, I guess this is self-deprecating, but like it was kind of like being a local band, and then like I don't know, I guess we still are a local band, but it was like, oh shit, we're like good, like we actually like sound good now, yeah. Well, and then the other thing was like, I feel like people were pretty hungry for live music, you know, so with the timing of everything, these two coming in and like. It like, I don't know, crowds have been, like, people showing up to shows have been pretty awesome. Like,
yeah,
post-COVID, in my personal opinion. And I think a big part of it is because, like, yeah, we all sat inside for like a year and a half or whatever, you know.
I still think that we're still getting like COVID music coming out. Like all the people that were in their houses all that music is still coming out. I feel like we've got like another year. The rest of this year is probably the end of everyone's COVID music. Yeah. That's it's just so cool to, y'all have been, there's half of y'all which have been in part of the new thing, the new improved thing, and then a couple of people that have been there since the beginning. I love kind of everything that's been going on. What were you listening to while you were making this second album in comparison to the first record?
That's a good question. I felt like I was listening to a lot of the same stuff.
Don't forget about all the Animal Crossing music you were listening to.
Oh yeah, I was listening to a lot of Animal Crossing music.
Fair.
Because me and my partner were playing oh my gosh,
New Horizons.
New Horizons, yes, thank you. But I was also listening to a lot of music from New Leaf as well. So that's where that Bossa Nova song came from.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of Animal Crossing music, a lot of like microwave and basement and balancing composure, Cirque to Survive. I was listening to a lot of Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Sure.
A lot of Tennis, if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah.
I love Tennis.
Yeah. There's something about the new record that feels like there's a little jovialness. Like it is there are like the content of the record can be dark but there's something still light and about the way that the record comes off. Maybe it's just like just the way that I was hearing it. It starts off with like this bang. You know how did you guys listen to the Townies record?
No, I don't think
so Townies is like this they're like Boston emo, but it's this very major key jovial, like very still happy sounding, but talking about a bunch of dark shit. I find the exact same thing that y'all are doing, where there's like this still like aloofness, where I find myself smiling through the sad parts. Like it's really, really nice. And I wanted to bring up something. Well, actually, is that something that y'all were going for, which is like, hey, I'm still going to use a bunch of major key shit, even though I'm going to scream over it and talk about some sad shit?
Yeah, I think there was some like element of that there. I don't know if it was like intentionally stated, but there was, yeah, for sure. There was definitely like hey, it could be major, but I still want it to be heavy.
Yeah, like, and that's what it is. It is very heavy. Like there's when you listen to like early 4 Year Strong and like there's the easy core thing and it's all major key and it's like the opposite of what hardcore everyone thinks about, and y'all are kind of bringing even like a little bit of that Long Island emo thing back, where it's just nice to hear happier, even though again contextually sad, but happier sounding music. It's awesome. I love the whole thing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Now when it comes to something that the bassist said is Justin, right?
Joe is the bassist.
Joe, that's right, right. All right. So Joe mentioned about how everything felt like everything clicked when everyone got together. There is a moment, I think that, one of those unspoken moments, another one of those German word things where like after you've been playing for a second, there is a feeling that you do like break through some ceilings where you are comfortably and like gone from like an apartment to like your townhouse, and then your townhouse to your house, and then like you feel like if anyone's played Sims, like the room level going up and up and up. Like that's what it feels like to me. Like if there's what would you say is like the moment where you felt like you hit the next level?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I feel like we were just talking to someone about how like I never want to say that we haven't been lucky, because I think you have to recognize the luck you've had in life, But there I don't think there's ever been some crazy we've never opened for a band that's some like crazy like Foo Fighters or like nothing like that. There's never been some like crazy Spotify playlist. So it's like, I guess one example is like we really wanted to play Coachella over in Bowling Green, and then we got on it last year. It was a ton of fun. We played at noon, best time to play.
Oh, that's awesome.
A set in music history. But no, it was a ton of fun. And that was one of those moments where, like, it was a really big deal when we got the email or whatever that we were in. But looking back on it, it's like, I guess it was like kind of a gradual thing. Like, you know, if it was like, you know, a regular year and then the next year we were like headlining Bonnaroo or whatever, that would be like, okay, that was kind of fucking like, that's like a Chapel Rome level of like going crazy. But I think it's felt pretty gradual to me personally, where it's just like, you know, the opportunities just get, you know, a little more exciting each time. And like, a lot of the bands we got to open for Keith Buckley's new band, Many Eyes, and like that was cool. And in a way, I'm kind of glad that it's been gradual in that sense, because like it's been fun, like appreciating the little jump ups, you know, where it's like, I never thought I'd be, you know, playing this festival. I never thought I'd be meeting this person. And I don't know, I feel like I've had time to kind of savor it that way versus like, you know, being like whatever, like Olivia Rodrigo and you're like 17 and then it's like all of a sudden, you know, everyone online's talking about like your dating life or whatever.
I think there's something funny about like kind of where people get comfortable, especially when the relationship of you and your band and where you want your success to be and where you get yourself comfortable. Like, I remember when about maybe 2 years after I started the 95 project, I just like, you know, I played so many local shows. There was like, you know, I was like, you know, grinding, doing, you know, as many local shows as possible to the point where like, I can't fucking, I haven't like gone to a show in a long time where it's like, there's kind of this moment where like, you know, hey, I don't want to play local anymore. And it's not because I don't want to play local. It's like, I want to start going to shows again. I feel like there's like the sine wave of that, where like in the beginning you have to grind and push and do this thing. And then when you come back, it's like, oh, I just want to be home and I just want the opportunity to go to a show, put a fucking hat on and like not talk about it. Like there's where in the sine wave are y'all in your relationship of like of your band and specifically with your local scene?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, we're at this weird level of like, all right, we have to be careful not to like play too much. We are like, not to toot our own horn, like we get a lot of offers and I want to say yes to all of them because a lot of them are homies and a lot of them are like really good shows, but like also
if we said yes to everything, we would be so busy and we would be playing like 5 local shows a month if we said yes to everything.
You can't. You can't do that. Like I get that. I get that. There's a fear of it because there's the business side of the whole thing where you're like, I have to give myself a radius, say no. I need at least, you know, what's my rule right now? I think right now it's like once every 2 months I'll play locally, just so and that's just for this. That's for this year. Like actually we don't have anything. We're playing Coachella. That's the only thing we have booked outside of like this show like in 2 weeks. Because I want to start going to shows again just for a little bit. I don't want to even have to worry about this stuff. Like I think that there's some grace in that. I think that there's like giving yourself that space and connecting back with the community more, I think is also better. Y'all are based in Columbus, or are y'all based in Cincinnati?
Cleveland.
The other city.
All right. So there's like 6 good cities like in Ohio, and it's fucking insane. So there's Cleveland, Dayton, Columbus, Cincinnati, and then Bowling Green out of fucking nowhere, which is like this ridiculous thing. Now tell me about Cleveland. Are y'all from Cleveland? Tell me kind of like what it's like, not only playing in Cleveland, but like what the Cleveland scene is like.
I'm originally from Texas, but I moved to Cleveland in 2016. Who's
You're from the area, like you're from Ohio.
Yeah, I'm from an hour east of here in a town called Sandusky,
Cool.
Ohio.
But the Cleveland scene is awesome. Like there are so in the way I've learned to look at the scene past like the audience and like how shows go is like how many venues are there, how many small cap venues are there in town, how well do they treat the bands, and like I feel like a big majority of the many venues that are in Cleveland like treat their bands well. And it's like I feel like no matter how many shows are going on, there's not really a huge competition between shows because there's always going to be people there, like no matter what's going on. Like I think there's been times where there's been huge shows within our genre and like other local shows that like have a good following within the lineup, and like we still play shows and there's still like a good crowd that comes out. There's no like, I don't know, I don't find there's a lot of drama in between bands here, like in other scenes I've been part of, in like everybody's,
at least not in like the emo scene that we're a part of.
Yeah.
Other Cleveland scenes we can't really speak for. And I know that the hardcore scene around here can be a little hit or miss in terms of the people in it, but
sure,
like, you can cut that out.
I don't know. I've been in other scenes here, and like, I don't know. It's like I feel like Cleveland people tend to be pretty humble because it's like, you're the butt of the joke. I've lived here for like 7 years, and it's like before I moved here, I thought it was like a war zone or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, it's just a Rust Belt city or whatever. I've had like 98% good interactions. There's literally only one venue we've worked with that I would never talk to again. Which is pretty good because I don't know, I've probably played 15 Cleveland venues or something, 20 venues.
A lot of the venues around here are pretty cool, and at least a majority of them treat the bands pretty well.
Oh, we have the best house venue in the fucking country.
We do, hands down.
What is it?
Birdhouse. It's called Birdhouse.
Okay. First of all, great name for a venue.
It's in an area of Lakewood, which is a suburb of Cleveland. It's in a little area of Lakewood called Birdtown. So the name Birdhouse, all the streets are named after birds and stuff. It's the coolest fucking house venue I've ever seen, like hands down. There's like a cool like nostalgia room upstairs that has like arcade cabinets and like a ton of like horror movies on VHS and like an old CRT TV and some comfy chairs. It's like such a vibe. It's so cool.
Love that.
It's amazing.
It's also super clean and it doesn't smell like mildew. No shade to any house venues that do.
Hey, listen, that's part of the ambiance. That's like,
it is.
That's part of the ambiance. That's stuff that that level 1 band stuff that you gotta like deal with.
That is definitely part of the journey.
There's charms to that stuff.
There is one of the things I found in the beginning is like all of kind of like the mental work that you have to do when playing shows, when you have to think about like also the ethically and like your ethos in playing shows. Hey, I can't play at this place because this place is shitty people. It's like there is a lot of like you have to be involved in the community in order to know these things as well. So like new bands, make sure you kind of are learning about places that you want to play, because there could be not necessarily repercussions, but like there are like weird ethos things that if someone's like, oh, I didn't learn that. Oh, I wish I knew that. There's a lot of research that I feel like I wish I knew before like starting to play, especially here in Nashville. There's like so much, like I have no problem talking shit. When it comes to Nashville, there's garbage places that are just like people that are just, well, maybe it's the places aren't bad, the people are bad, and they're like there are wonderful places that I could direct to everyone, but there are places that are like, please don't step within 50 feet of this place because it's just fucking bad vibes. Would you like? I would say like 50% of like the venues that people the bands have access to in Nashville, despite there being like 40 or 50 of them, are garbage. In
50%.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's about also availability as well. Like merch cuts, like
fuck off.
Merch cuts. I would say that there's like 12 that like I can, well, also this is the thing. Nashville is fantastic as like especially if like okay, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, when you go and play a show there aren't that many venues, so everyone can show up and it's awesome. And there's this really, really cool, there's just cool scenes there. Smaller cities, I feel like get like, because of the less amount of venues, there's less to do, meaning there's, the supply is less, so the demand is more, so people will go to more stuff. Nashville, there's stuff every fucking night.
Yeah.
And because of that, the supply is high and the demand is low. It's really hard to get people to come out, because they might have already seen a show, and well, somebody's going to come through here, in 4 months. So I'll just catch the next one. Like, so there's a lot of weirdo issues when it comes to that stuff. And I had to like dive into those whole things from the get go, and you learn all this stuff. And like, there's again, seeing the mountain and having to climb it. Would you say that like Cleveland is pretty, like the barrier of entry is like low, so like just go fucking play and do the thing?
It doesn't exist here.
I would say like it's not really that hard to get a band off the ground here. In terms of like playing out regularly, I mean, like gaining a following in Cleveland is a little tougher. I don't think this is really like, some people strike it huge, right? Like we have some acts that have come out of Cleveland and become like world famous or whatever, but like at least getting your feet off the ground and like playing out regularly, I don't think it's really that hard for new bands to do that here.
Oh, it's a joke. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't think
I wouldn't call it a joke. I would say.
Oh, I think he meant it the opposite. I think he meant that the opposite. Like, it's not about the barrier of entry. It's like, it's so easy. There's no reason not to like try and do it in Cleveland.
You got it. Yeah, sorry. In case that was misconstrued. It's like if your goal is to get on stage in Cleveland, and you're right. Like, you made a good point about like the way that you make a lot of stuff work with music really is just like talking to other people. There's a band I was talking to that like they're talking about wanting to gig or whatever, and I was like, literally just reach out to someone and be like, hey, you want to do a show together? Like, that really is all it is. And luckily here, there's like, at least I haven't encountered it, but like not much like pay to play.
Yeah.
That used to be really bad around here.
Peabody's.
Yeah, there was a venue called Peabody's in Cleveland that was really bad about that. You need to sell this many tickets to play the show type shit.
Yeah.
But ever since they've been gone, I haven't seen like a single other venue do that.
No, I'll shout these guys out because they're fucking awesome. The 5 o'clock Lounge is in Lakewood, and it's like a free venue, and it's super like chill. Beers are like stupid cheap to the point where you're like, is this like a mafia front? Like, how are they making any money? But yeah, no, it's like you play a set and you always get paid for like a free show. Like,
that's cool.
Awesome.
It's
and
just like
anyone can book.
It's super. I like it when places are like based about that kind of stuff. Like, it's so great. I think the communication thing and talking to other bands is also just so important. Like, the reason, I don't think I've said this, but like the secret of me starting this podcast is so I could like get people in front of me that I could ask questions to when I started this band. Like, that is why I started this podcast. It is the secret, like, that I was like, hey, I need a reason for bands to talk to me. So I'll talk to bands about this weird thing about starting a band and learning all this stuff. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. So I want to hear what everyone else's stories are about learning these kinds of things, because how we get here, it's always a weird journey. And it's usually like we want to get, on stage and do this thing, and how we write music is strange, and how we get to these weirdo friendships and this weird tribal thing is really, really strange. And I'm just glad that like everyone that's in bands, they all kind of fucking get it. Everyone is like, hey, listen, we all understand, how to be ethical, sustainable, and like, and how to like provide community for everyone. And it's just so cool that I get to like talk to bands like y'all, where especially people that are like, I talked to someone last week. They have put out 2 songs that are demos, and I get to like talk to them about all these weirdo like journey-ish things, or what's it like, from that side where they've just barely started, to y'all who've put out 2 LPs, and like the sky's the limit, like for everyone in that kind of aspect. So first of all, thank you all so much for jumping on. I want to play a song from y'all. So off the new record, what would you like to play?
Ooh. Oh boy.
And also, really quickly, you won't have to hear it. I will edit like the space. I will put it in there.
No, we want to sit in silence while we listen to our own music.
I have to make sure people know that.
I feel like lately the personal band favorite has been All I Need.
That's been my favorite for a while.
Solid
personally, I hear a lot of people talk about that one too. So
it's great. It's so good.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. I love that song. Everything about that song.
It's a fun one. That was not to throw anyone in the band under the bus, but that was probably the one that was hardest in the writing process.
It was, and Joe's talking about me. I was very frustrated at that point.
Avery's not good at drums.
I'm so bad at this. It took a long time for me to come up with something that I liked for it. I couldn't come up with anything for the chorus for the longest time, and then when it finally clicked, I was like, oh, this is it. And now that song is like my favorite on the album. And like just a little fun fact about that song, sorry, while we're talking about it, the second verse has like this fast 16th note shaker, and I kind of just tried that like on a whim when we were recording aux percussion, and I remember the moment that we stopped recording that part, Justin was like, fuck yeah. And we were all like, yeah, let's listen to that back. And we all loved like the sense of like, we loved the sense of like drive and urgency it gave that part, especially because like Justin's leads over that part are also like my favorite guitar thing on the whole album.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here, listen, this is All I Need by Mudwell.
I said no offense to him.
So this is All I Need by Mudwell.
Fell asleep where we wanted to, dreaming anything we wanted. There was no one left to tell us what to do or how to do it. And their way, changing things before they stay up, painting any color. Yeah, we made mistakes along the way, but every one of them were lessons learned. I've got
that was All I Need by Mudwell. Listen, y'all, the best. I can't wait to hopefully see you guys come through here, or we'll come through there. I just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Just thank you so much for being chill as fuck. This is gonna cut out here in just a second. But just thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your night, and chill out. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.
Too. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
See
us.
y'all.
Bye.